welcome to another session in Build Your Own Virtual Stage Summit. Today, I have one of my favorite social media strategies. She's a friend. She's also my mentor, and she has helped me so much in this past journey. I am so grateful to her. She is amazing. She has a lot of experience in television. She's won some Emmys. She is like badass. I love her to pieces, and she comes with gifts for you. She will teach you how to fill up your virtual summits and your virtual events with Facebook ads, and not just Facebook ads, a ad strategy in general, so you can apply it to Google, to TikTok, to Instagram, to everywhere, because you've noticed that we cannot just rely on Facebook anymore. Come on. So her name is Laurel Portier, and she's in Louisiana right now, right? Yes. And welcome. Tell us a little bit about how you started and, a little bit of your backstory, please.
Yeah, absolutely. So right now I am in South Louisiana. Over the last 20 years, I have lived all over the country because I worked in television. And so everything that I'm going to teach you today is not something that I learned from watching a webinar or learned from an internet guru. This is actual 20 years of advertising experience. And so my journey starts back in 2002, whenever I got my first job in television. I just dated myself, right? 2002, holy cow, that's almost 20 years. But I look young, right? And so like in 2002, I started working for ABC, and one of my very first jobs was to get people to watch the 11 o'clock news. Now, when I say the 11 o'clock news, I'm talking 11 p.m., right? Do you know you're fighting sleep? You're fighting their partner saying, come on, let's, have some sex. You're fighting all kinds of stuff where people want to grab the remote and turn the channel, right? They're watching CSI. So my sole job was to get people from that primetime television show into not touching their remote in that last commercial break, because their show's ending, right? They're ready to touch that remote. My job was to get their attention, keep their attention into the 11 o'clock news. And so what I teach my students and how I actually approach ads goes back to my television days, where I had to, one, get people's attention, and two, promise them value. Why should they stay up and watch the newscast if maybe there's a news story that's not in their area, right? So headline, promise of value. Those are the two things that were literally just the basic, just everything that I teach my students starts with a headline and promise of value. And so that's my background. And so what we're going to go over today is going to be a strategy things that I actually picked up in the television world, because it applies the same thing, whether you are a brick and mortar business, an online business, whether you're trying to get people to watch a television show, a newscast, the same thing applies. We have to get their attention, right? Because people are so they're distracted by so many things, and we have to promise them value. And that's something that a lot of online entrepreneurs think that they're delivering, but they're falling very short because they're being told, well, you should only teach the what and not tell people the how, because that's what people pay you for. And that is one of my biggest pet peeves inside the internet marketing space is I believe that if we truly give value, I'm going to give you guys everything in this training today. There's not going to be something where you have to go and buy something. I'm literally going to reveal everything as Anna and I are going to chat about this strategy. And so that is the very platform that I have literally just told all of my students. It all starts with getting their attention and holding their attention with real value, not just flashy internet stuff. So hopefully I didn't ramble too long on my
No, that's perfect, because we are from the team of no fluff, no BS, straight to the point, straight shooters. And I know that people are tired of joining glorified webinars where they talk about the perfect webinar. Please, I'm so tired of that. They talk
for it. A lot of people, and I'm seeing this in my ad agency, to where we've literally changed how we do webinars. Webinars still work, but not the way that they used to. And it's because people are following that perfect, webinar script, and then talking about themselves for 20 minutes. People don't want to sit around and wait. They have too many options now. And especially people who are busy, they're like not going to wait around 30 minutes, to watch an entire webinar. And so today, I hope that you guys understand a little bit better about what's going to actually attract your audience to you and how you could actually crush your competition by just following, getting their attention, and giving a ton of value. And that is like 80% of the battle when it comes to Facebook ads. Because remember, Facebook ads, YouTube ads, any type of ads, LinkedIn, it's all there. It's just really good content with money on it. That's all ads are, really good content with money on it.
But highlighting that really good content.
Really good content. Yeah. Like every single piece that I release, whether it's organically, well, actually I turn my organic stuff into ads. See, that's all I'm doing, turning organic stuff into ad and putting money on it, turning it into ads. And I always make sure that my audience can do one thing. That's what I actually put in my branding statement in front of all of my, every time I do I'm going to give you one strategy you could immediately implement after watching this video. So my audience is trained to know that if I miss a video, I might miss an important strategy that's going to get me one step further. And so whenever you put money on really good content, it's just like adding gasoline to the fire, right? So today we're literally going to go over strategy that's going to help you do two things. One, build an audience that is going to look at you as a credible source. And two, an audience that is actually going to buy not only this event from you, but other things from you as well.
Yeah, go through all your offers and say, yeah, I want to join that person. Even though you're surrounded by a lot of speakers. So some people are like, oh, we're doing virtual summits and I'm bringing speakers in and they're going to get distracted. They're not going to buy from me. No, guys, that doesn't happen. People will see you as an authority and will buy from you if you follow her strategy.
If you teach your heart out and you don't worry about the sale, it's going to come because people are going to be like, wow, if that was free, I can't even imagine what's behind the paid door.
Exactly. Serve, serve, serve. Love on your people. We've talked about this before with other speakers. We have to be with our heart in our sleeves and understanding the other person and not just the salesy stuff. And that's how we sell, serving, loving. So Laurel, you've had a lot of experience with your clients filling up this virtual event. So tell us a little bit more. How do we structure the videos? How do we structure the ads so that people can actually bring in their own leads and not depend on the speakers promoting their events? Because that's one of the pet peeves I have with the virtual summit specifically, or the conferences, is that they marketers tell people to tell your speakers to promote and make them push your event, and that's how you're gonna grow. And I'm like, yeah, but you also have to build, engage, and sell yourself. Because if you're not doing your own social media strategies, if you're not doing your own content, then you have less results. And then people are complaining that events don't work, and they do work.
Yep, it definitely takes a collaboration. And so I spent 20 years working in television, and during that time, I was also in a rock band, okay? And so I would always use my marketing skills when it came time for shows. Now, bars and event places loved to book my band. It had very little to do with how good my band was, but it was the way that we strategically marketed. And so think about this when it comes to your virtual event, okay? Your audience already knows how awesome you are if and only if you're going to follow the content strategy that I'm going to give to you today, okay? The reason that bars loved having us was because my band spent less time promoting ourselves. Our audience already had heard our music over and over again. They weren't coming to those shows to see us. They knew that every show that we put on, we were going to have the best other bands. And so we spent more time promoting the other bands than we spent time promoting ourselves. It was a collaboration. And that's why bands loved, and we would get the best bands to come play with us because they knew that our marketing was going to be on point and it was going to be worth them coming to our little podunk show. And so we would get bands and people are like, how did you get the bands? And we ended up getting sponsored by a tequila company. We ended up getting sponsored by PBR, Lone Star Beer. And it was because of our marketing and collaboration. It wasn't just about us, right? And so when you're going into these virtual events, stop thinking about, okay, it all being about one person. What is the value that this collaborative effort is going to bring? So hopefully that helps you think a little bit outside of the box when it comes to promoting your event. And like I said, this strategy right here is going to help you do two things. One, it's going to build your credibility and authority with your audience. The second part is where you're going to start getting the help of people who are going to come to that event so that we can drive traffic, so that our retargeting traffic is going to be on point.
That's so cool. So, okay, so before you get started, I have done ads, and you know that I'm like here and there because my budget is not a big budget. Last event, I did run some ads, but I had issues. I honestly didn't make a sale. And I think this is my theory. My theory is that it was election year and that there was a lot of money put into the election ads, and we weren't having any space on the bidding at all. So like, how can we go against those types of like scenarios where like the world is going over and then like huge companies come with this $5 million ad budget and we have like $100?
Yeah, no, definitely. And this strategy is the perfect thing. So I'm gonna tilt my screen up a little bit. So there's two parts. There's two parts to this strategy. You're gonna see there's 3 videos right here, and there's 5 pieces of content here. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to be video content. It could be written content. But my students know me for my video marketing because I find that it builds credibility so much faster. Because think about this. You can tell when someone gets on video or someone's on Clubhouse, right? You can tell if they really know what they're talking about versus if they might have just ripped someone else's copy in written form, right? And so I'm going to say this, that I think moving forward, like, and this was true in 2020, but I think video marketing is going to be getting more and more important, especially in the online realm where everyone now is becoming an expert because they've taken a course or they've taken a webinar, right? And so I personally love video ads. And so we're going to do something, and this is something that I do not only for events, but I just do it year round for all of my agency clients. And so these videos right here, these 3 at the top, they're all video view like campaigns. So we could run these at $1. Like I think Frank Kern once said on a podcast, he starts them at $1.88. Like, no, like he just starts them at $1.88. And I think that that's awesome. I always tell my students to start at $1 and keep raising them as you want. But here's what's going to happen. These 3 videos right here are going to continuously build your audience all year round. And so whenever you are going to launch an event, right, anyone who's seen any of these 3 videos, the second tier, right, they're going to be sent these ads. Because strategy number 2 is the conversion ad. So this is where we're gonna put the conversion, whether it is a free event or whether it's a purchase event. I run the strategy for $97 events that upsell people into a higher ticket, but it works great for virtual because here's the thing, remember year round, these things are gonna be running. And you can run them for $1 a day, $2 a day, or whatever. To get to the second tier, they have to watch one of these 3 videos. Now, here's an extra layer to that. And don't worry, I'm going to give you guys a cheat sheet with another training on how to do this. But I just want you guys to just get the concept right. Because if you understand the concept, pushing the buttons is going to be so easy because I do this not only on Facebook, but I do it on YouTube as well. I run power content, and it goes back to headline, promise of value, deliver the content. That's it. And a lot of people have issues with this because they're like, well, Laurel, I'm not pushing them to sell them anything. That's the whole point. My power content formula is a 3 to 5 minute video that offers value, nothing but value. You're not asking them for any committed action. So you start with a headline, you got to get their attention. 2, a promise of value. Now, this is the key to getting people to watch your content longer. And whether you're doing an ad or whether you're doing organic content, if I tell you in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to outline a virtual event ad strategy that you could start for $2 a day. Are you going to stick around and watch the video? Probably, right? And so anytime we're doing content, Don't say, hey, everybody. Remember, if you're talking to everybody, you're talking to nobody, right? We want to start off headline. How would you like to pack your next virtual event? In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you a simple ad strategy that you can implement today with only $2. That was headline, promise of value. That's all. And so then you teach the content, right? You tell them who you are, do a little humble brag, and then get into the content. That is what I would call power content. And so I have 3 pieces of power content that runs all year long. Like I did an affiliate launch for Amy Porterfield, for one of her affiliates. What did we do in between the launches? We ran power content so that we could get them into her live virtual event, which was her live webinar, okay? So this is not something that, we're just doing just to do. This is what all of the gurus are doing, but they're not telling you what they're doing. And so what we're going to do is we're going to run this power content all year long. We're going to keep building that audience. And here's the thing. If people watch this video, I call it the ping pong video strategy. People watch this video, we're going to send them here. People who watch this video, we're going to send them here. People who watch this video, we're going to ping pong them back here. And we're going to keep excluding audiences of people who've already watched that video. So these people are going to see all 3 pieces of content at some point. Then you bring in your next tier, which is your conversion campaign. But here's the thing. People get the misconception. They think that I only send offers to warm audiences. That couldn't be furthest from the truth. We also send offers to cold people. But here's the thing. That ping pong strategy is going to come into play here too, which is just generally retargeting. So if people are getting these event ads, and I'll give you guys some scripts to use, and I'll actually show you a real life example of how I actually booked people into a virtual event for a little less than like $100. And what we did was we ran cold traffic here, and then people who were not actually applying for the event, we were sending them to power content, and we were ping ponging them to all of these ads too. Now, here's the thing. Some of these ads, 2 of these ads were something that I would call an elevator pitch. That's where you're just, hey, I've got an event coming up. You're going to learn X, Y, and Z. These 3 videos over here are kind of a hybrid of power content. I call it a power combo. It's got power content, tons of value at the top, and then a simple call to action to come to my event to learn more. So the content that we're putting in these 3 videos right here, we're actually teaching something. What do they need to know, or what do they need to overcome before coming to your event? And then at the end, we're just, hey, would you like me to personally help you execute this? I've got a live event coming up, or a live workshop, where we will literally do this together so that you don't have to wonder if you're doing it right. You're going to get all of my resources, blah, 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 click the link below and join, right? Very compelling. We're giving value off the top, getting them to watch the entire video, and then offering to help them, right? Extra value. And so all we're doing is launching a video view campaign and a conversion campaign, and the retargeting takes care of itself, because we're just saying, hey, if you watch this, but you didn't buy, let's send them to some video views, right? And so we've got warm audience retargeting here, warm audience retargeting there. And then you're like, okay, well, what next, right? They've gone through this whole entire video sequence. Well, so your event happens and they still didn't buy. Well, guess what? Now you have a custom audience of people who've engaged with your event ads and people who've been watching your videos. You're simply going to use that custom audience and boost every single post that you post on your business page so that you stay top of mind, so that next time your event comes around, guess what? The amount of people that you booked here is going to keep compounding and compounding and compounding. So yes, at the beginning, you might have a bigger ad budget. As you keep doing this more and more, this exact same strategy, you're going to keep getting more people to book with less ad spend. This is exactly what I do with my agency clients, that literally at first we might spend $5,000 a month, but as we get more people into that custom audience, our cold audience is going to convert better at first. But once this compounding effect starts happening, you're going to be getting people into your event for like dollars. So very, very simple strategy that any of you guys right now watching this video can implement. And Anna, I know that we're going to hook them up with a free cheat sheet that's going to actually walk them through the technical setup of that, because I know that that could get a little overwhelming, but it's a really great strategy. And if you have a low budget, this strategy is highly, highly effective. This is exactly how I build all of the audiences for my clients.
Yeah. And then, yeah, because I was thinking while you were saying all this, okay, so power content. That power content, we have to make sure that it is aligned to the topic of the virtual event as well. Like, we got to clarify this because people are like, oh, but what kind of power content? What do I talk about? What is the I just heard them in my head, like going on and on, right? Because I have the same questions when I started, right? So what would you recommend? Would you recommend like a step-by-step, or just give some tips on what's gonna the topic of the theme?
So one of my favorite exercises that I do, my mentor calls it stealth influence content. And so he challenges me to go beyond just the objection, right? So let's say you have a fitness business, right? And you keep hearing from clients that they don't have time to go to the gym. Okay. So there's 4 parts in breaking this down. I'll actually include this exercise in this cheat sheet for you guys too. It's very effective, and it challenged me as a content creator that we have to figure out, like, what is the deep emotional reason that people are not moving forward with whatever we have, right? And so if you have an offer, your offer has to align no matter where on the value ladder they are, right? At the end of the day, like, my offer is I teach Facebook ads, right? At the end of the day, Anna helps people put on these amazing virtual events, right? And so what we have to realize is, like, why are people not moving forward? Is the event top of the funnel, or is your event at the very bottom? Okay, so that's the first thing that you have to, what can we help people get through with content? And so the stealth influence exercise goes something like this, okay? So let's say someone is in the fitness business and their clients keep telling them, I don't have time, okay? So that's the objection. That's the false belief that they have, right? I don't have time. Well, the next part is getting, okay, what experience gave them that objection? What experience gave them that false belief? Was it because last time they tried to go to the gym, their little 2-year-old was hugging them on their legs, screaming and crying, no, 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 no. What was that an experience that gave them that? Well, I don't have time because I'm a mother and I should be tending time to my kids. So what is that experience? Now, number 3, the third layer is the story they tell themselves. Okay. So watch how this is going to flow. So they don't have time. What is the experience that gave them that false belief? Well, anytime I'm trying to go to the gym, my kid is hugging my leg, telling me, no, 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 mom, I'm going to miss you too much, blah, blah, blah. The story they tell themselves is their husband is going to have to deal with a screaming 2-year-old. He's going to call his mom for help. The in-laws are going to think I'm a bad mother because I'm not spending enough time with my kids. I'm going to the gym, right? Now we're getting to the deep root of why people think that they don't have time. And then the 4th element is giving them a real life case study, whether it is your own personal story or whether it's a story of one of your clients who had that same experience, and how you led them to being able to make time without having the issue that started the whole objection in the first place. That is how you make great content. Good content is making sure that they do have time to go to the gym. Making great content is making them understand how to solve these objections at the top, and how your program could help them get over this stuff without them thinking that they're taking time away from their children. So that is what separates good content from really great content. And so just using that stealth influence exercise right there, you can get to the bottom of why people have the objections that they do. And those are what goes in top of the power content. Because here's the thing, like for me, I have a $7 ad coaching program. If I can't convince people that they can do their own ads and that they don't have to spend a fortune doing advertising, no matter, like, even though my program's only $7, they're not going to buy it. So until I can show them in the top content how easy it is, how other clients have gotten through those same objections and the stories that they tell themselves, they're never going to buy. Same with your audience. No matter how good your event is, if they think they don't have time, if they don't think that, you could actually help them, they're never even going to attend, even though it's free. And so that's why it's super important that we're using that as your power content. Then by the second layer, they already know what you're about. You already helped them come over all of these objections. And now you're ready to give them something that they know they can do, they know they have time for, and you have built yourself up as a credible person because now through this content, they've seen the real life examples of how you've helped other people who are just like them.
Mhm. And that is extremely relatable, exactly. Because when we relate with our audience, then our audience can grow the belief that they can do it as well, which is what literally what you said. If people can't think that they can do their own ads, or people can't think that they can do their own virtual events and put them together really easy, then no matter how many, you know, things we do, how many words we use, how many colors.
Your ad copy is this long. Like people worry about that kind of stuff where it's really like this. It's just simple messaging. Like we have to bust those, not only those objections, but we have to figure out what is the story that they're telling themselves and what experience got them there. How can we tell them, I understand, I know how I can help you. I've helped other people like you. And the more that we can make that connection, that they see that we've helped other people who are just like them, the more they know, like, and trust us. And then it becomes a no-brainer. Then it doesn't matter what your sales page says. It doesn't matter. Like if I throw out an offer to my people, I can have the ugliest landing page with people are just like, I want that. I want that.
Whatever, Laurel. Yep. And I've been witness of that. I've been with her journey since she started, Laurel, and I've seen other people also do the same thing. Like they buy and buy and buy because they have gotten so much value out of Laurel and her strategies. And these are the people that actually went and implemented her strategies, made it work. And they're like, yeah, whatever she says, I'm buying. Like, shut up and take my money. And that's the feeling that you want to create, right? The shut up and take my money. Just like, yeah, I got it. You got it. She's got the secret.
Yeah, exactly. And it all starts from here. And that's the same. Those are the same techniques that I did whenever like I was promoting the 11 o'clock news. Like whenever so I've worked all over the country. And so I worked at a Fox station in San Antonio. And from Fox San Antonio, I went to Seattle. Two totally different atmospheres where Fox San Antonio was more geared towards the Jerry Springer, Maury kind of audience, right? Very dependent on the news, very dependent on the news telling them how to make decisions, right? Going to CBS in Seattle, completely different. I don't know how much you know about Seattle, but they stay in their bubble. They're very self-reliant. Most of them don't even have televisions. So the way that I would write my promos is, here's how I can help you help yourself. Versus in Fox San Antonio, the tone of it was, we're here to help you, blah, 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 where it was very self-hearted. Where in Seattle, like, I remember writing a weather promo. This was actually one of my Emmy Awards, I was like, you brave Seattle traffic. You walk in the rain. You do this. Like, and it was just the way that I was feeding into their ego. Like, you guys are badass. And you know what? We're going to help you be badasses because we're going to tell you when it's going to rain and how not to get stuck in traffic and all of this because you are brave enough to even go through all of that stuff. Whereas in San Antonio, it was like, we're going to, bring you your perfect forecast so that you could do this. And, this story is going to help you do that. Like Seattle people don't want like us to, help. And so it's the same concept. And so as I'm doing my power content, I'm thinking, who are my ideal audience and like what are the stories that they're telling themselves, right? The stories that Seattle people tell themselves totally different than the stories that San Antonio people tell themselves. And so all of the way that I do ads is literally just the way that I've studied people over the last several years. And so just taking this and implementing this into your business, even if you never run a Facebook ad, if you do that self-influence exercise every time you go live on Facebook, just think, what is the objection or false belief that I'm trying to get rid of with my audience? Two, what is the experience that gave them that false belief? What is the story that they're telling themselves? And how can we display that, hey, I get you. I know I've helped people who were exactly where you were, and this is where they are now. And so even if you just implement that into your organic traffic, you take that same content, throw money on it, and use it to book people into your virtual event.
Wow. Mind blowing. That yeah, like that's so so important what you just said about speaking their language and how they believe about receiving help, that the receiving help part. Because I know I've had a more masculine energy all my life, and for me, receiving help is like, no thanks, I got it. I got it. But some people need the right words to be able to say, okay, yeah, I accept your help because I need help, because I want you to help me change my life. And I know that everybody that's watching this and everybody that's participating in this virtual summit and all the speakers as well, we're in the life-changing business. We want you to succeed. We want you to spread your message, and we want you to help others help themselves, or you help them.
Whichever your audience prefers, right? There's some people that it is like their audience wants their hand holding. There's other people in their audience that just want their advice and, hey, I could take it and do it myself. You just have to figure out where your audience is in that, and just put the content exactly how they want it in there. It really is that easy. The hard part is trying to figure out what it is that they actually want. And you do that by putting out content and engaging them to have conversations with you.
Yeah. And I was also thinking, because I've seen it from other speakers that have created some virtual summits and some virtual events. It's like, okay, so part of the content below that we're retargeting can be about the speakers and not about us, right? So I'm the host and you're in my summit. I would create an ad to share your achievements and your success. And that way we can, I give you a platform to spread your message, and we share authority. So that would be on the retargeting option, right?
So I'll use what we're doing right now as an example. So you and I are jamming, right?
Yeah.
Let's say you're thinking of ads to do at your next event, and maybe you ask me to come back as a speaker, right? Or maybe you're doing a pre-recorded thing for your event. Here's what you do. You take the most valuable. I know, like, this is something that's really hard because they want to save the best thing. And I always bring these TV analogies in, but so whenever I did promos for the 11 o'clock news, the reporters always never wanted me to put their most important sound bites in the promo. But I kept telling them, more people are going to see your promo than they're going to see the newscast. Same applies here. So let's say Anna and I are pre-recording this, right? She takes the most valuable piece of information that I have just given you guys, put it as an ad, like a 1-minute video clip where like there's just so much value, and you're just simply like, hey, want to hear more fire from this person, where she's also going to tell you X, Y, and Z. Click the link below and register for the free virtual summit, right? We're using the most valuable, and Anna could literally do that for every single person that she has as a speaker. What is their most valuable piece of information that they could possibly give in that 1-minute clip, and then tease the fact that they're also going to share the secrets to 1, 2, and 3. Drop a, either, click the link below or send me a message, or however you want to do that. But that's how she can literally take this strategy. One, she's got to solve objections, right? Before people could even think that, hey, is the solution a virtual summit? They don't know, right? They have all these objections in their head. But down here, this is where she could really bring the fire and start showing sneak peeks. Now, she doesn't have to do that way. She could actually do little whiteboard training. She could ask me to do a training for her. That could all be in the retargeting strategies. We could do an interview style promo. Don't be confined to what I'm showing you right here. Like, the whole point of like Facebook advertising is for you to test like what works for one person sometimes doesn't work for it. All depends on the personalities. If you're someone who you think can carry, by all means, use all of you in that. But I find that using a collaborative effort, just like I used to with my band, right? Going back to that, people booked my band because we were all about promoting the collaborative show, not just us on stage. And so just think about that. And this strategy is not the end all be all. to what you could do with ads.
Yeah, no, yeah. I was thinking about that content because what I've seen from others is that they just put the graphic of the speaker and they say something about the speaker, and I'm like, but the best ads are the ones that the speakers actually create a little, what you said, a 1-minute promo of like, hey, I'm speaking in this event, you should sign up because we talk about this, and that. And it comes from the speaker's mouth. So that's very powerful when we do retargeting ads for like any campaign, anything that you're promoting, really. If you have, like I've seen your ads with your testimonials, it's like, don't believe Laurel, believe this, people, and like a slideshow, right?
Yep.
So yeah, that's so.
Yep, and testimonials are really well in this too, right? It's all about putting one piece of content and then putting more pieces of content for people who've engaged with that one piece of content. Facebook ads is easy or as hard as you want to make, or YouTube, right? These could be your discovery ads, right? These could be your in-stream ads.
Yeah.
I like discovery ads for high value content, in-stream ads straight to the cell, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, because I know that we have an audience, and some of them already have ads, so they're thinking, oh, what can we do with this? Ads, this is not complicated ads, like Laurel just said. It's a campaign.
Two types, right? We start with the video view, we graduate them into conversion. So the second year's conversion, the first is video ads. But we're just taking audiences, right? We're bringing on, if someone engaged with this, they're going to see all these other videos and ads too, but they're also going to see high value content. So we're just ping-ponging. It's just very simple. It's, like I said, a lot of people overcomplicate it. But essentially, all that it is getting people to watch one piece of content and then they're targeting them with other pieces of content.
Exactly. Instead of going straight cold to conversion ads, because
you're going to get a couple of conversions, but the way that we want this to compound, where it become like cheaper. Right? Because at first you're gonna have to start with cold, right? Because like especially you don't have a warm audience. But if they're engaging with this event ad, they're just not doing it because they had one of these objections up here. So that's why they view this as cold. Boom, we're also retargeting them to this high value content, and then they're going to want to see other ads for this event. So this is why this works together. You have two strategies, right? So you're going to launch a video view campaign, and you're going to launch a conversion campaign to cold, and then you're going to retarget them to each other. So they're not only getting sales ads, they're getting high value content and sales ads at the same time.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so yeah, that's clear. Ping pong. Okay. So, wow, Laurel, that strategy is mind blowing. Thank you so much for sharing and telling us the how, because that is an actionable step that everybody could come and use. And with the cheat sheets, I'm gonna drop a link below with a button. It's gonna be a pretty button on the website. If you're watching on Facebook, I will drop the link in the comments for the cheat sheets. So you can go ahead and do ads without feeling like stuck, having clarity, and with a small budget, and not worrying about what to do. I said that already, but that's important. And so thank you, Laurel, for being here. That was amazing. Thank you for giving us your strategy. And I wanted to ask you what tips you can give us for those who are getting started, for those who have offline businesses that are turning into online right now, or those coaches that have tried the events and they feel like maybe just organic, and like how do we encourage them to like pay to play, basically? Yep.
Yep, absolutely. So probably the best tip, and this is something that a lot of people don't really talk about, is don't be so hard on yourself. And so here's real statistics. It's like the first time that we place any of these things, we're not going to hit a home run. It's going to take a couple of tries. And I'm going to be totally transparent. Like even with myself, 9 out of the 10 ads that I do are going to fail. Like that's just how it is. And a lot of people, they want to rely on just doing this one time, right? And then they're like, oh, well, Facebook ads don't work or YouTube ads don't work. And I know you guys can't see this right here, but right here I have a basketball goal. You can see my foul shot line right there. And I can, between my discovery calls, I shoot baskets. And if I threw you the basketball right now, Anna, and I said, hey, I will give you $1,000 for every time that you shoot from that foul shot line and make it up into the basketball goal, would you only shoot that ball 1 or 2 times? Or would you keep shooting as many times until your arm fell off to try to keep getting the jackpot, right?
Of course, I would totally keep trying until I get jackpot.
Exactly. And so, but a lot of people, when they get the basketball in their hand, do a Facebook ad, right? And they miss, they're like, oh, Facebook ads don't work. And so it's the same thing, like rolling the dice, right? You're going to have to roll several times before you're hitting that 7. And so if there's anything else that I can get you guys to take away is, like, if your first ad fails, use the data. Right? Use the data to tell you, okay, well, this ad didn't work because I didn't get enough people to watch this video. I didn't get enough people to click this link. And so there are different things that you could actually troubleshoot. And by the way, I'm going to add that on the cheat sheet too, because I think that it's super important for your audience to not only be able to launch their ad, but to understand the data so that if they do get an ad that fails, I'm gonna put that training in there so that they know how to read that data and know exactly what to fix and what exactly is wrong with it, so that they can get back out and do the entire strategy with ads that work. And so that would be the one tip, that I would tell people is, like, if an ad doesn't work, don't give up. Like, you have to try a couple of things. Sometimes you're gonna have to, think a little outside of the box. But I run ads. I've been running ads since 2008. 12 years now, 13 years, going on 13 years. And still every ad that I place is not a home run. Like, I still probably launch, 7 out of the 10 ads are bombers, but I know because of the data what I need to fix. And then the next one I can launch confidently, that I know that, okay, if I need to get more people to click through, then I need to change my image, and I need to try a whole bunch of different images. Right. And so knowing the data and knowing it's going to save you so much money. And so, like I said, this strategy, along with knowing the data that goes along with this, you're going to be set up for success, and you're going to know what 80% of other online marketers don't know, because a lot of people are going into the whole ads. They're not knowing what their goals are. They're not knowing what this and this and this. And so the best advice that I could give you is, in that cheat sheet, is giving you armed with really good templates for you to use, but also arming you with a good troubleshooting method so that when something doesn't work, you know how to fix it.
Yeah, I know that personally. Me and numbers don't get along. So when I don't track my numbers, boy, that's when I, feel like I'm losing money. Because I know people are thinking, this is attached to the losing the money part. I know they're thinking, yeah, you're saying that to look at the bigger picture and everything, but Laurel, my money.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's never wasting money. You're always paying for data. You're getting to the good stuff. It's an investment. Like, exactly. There's no way to lose money on ads. Like, Nike didn't just run commercials for 2 years or 2 weeks. Like, what if Nike would have stopped running ads after 2 weeks? They would not be where they are today. And so you have to ask yourself, am I here for the short-term gain, or am I here for the long game? If you're here for the short-term game, this strategy is not going to work for you, because you're going to do this and you're going to be like, I didn't get, like, blah, blah, blah. But if you're here for the long game, this strategy right here is going to work perfect, and it's going to actually sustain your business, because you're going to be growing an audience and it's going to compound, right? The first time that you invest money, you don't all of a sudden get all of this return. It's the compounding that makes you the most money. And so very similar to this type of strategy right here.
That's so awesome. Thank you so much. I know that the attendees are very grateful, and we will see you maybe a surprise training in the live section for the meet and greet. And thank you so much for being here, Laurel, and thank you so much for you being here, also attending and learning how to create and build your own virtual stages, because it is possible. You have a message to go ahead and spread, and it is part of what you are doing, what you have to do here on earth. to help others and change lives. So go ahead and put this to work and get the resources from Laurel. I'm going to link it below wherever you're watching. It's going to be either in the chat, in the comments, or in a button in a website. And we'll see you in the next session so that you can become an irresistible online leader. I'll see you. Bye-bye.